What do you think the guys have learned over these last two games, just in terms of the experience, the moment? Obviously, because like you said before, this series, most of these guys have never felt these feelings before.
Just to order the emotions and get your priorities correct. I thought, I know we played a heck of a game in Game 5. I think that was structurally as close to our game. A vast majority of that will be training camp video. It was good. So that's the start. Put the game first.
Left side, first row.
Paul, Nick Cousins had some big moments
Yeah.
the last few years for your team. Second round, knocking out the Leafs in overtime. What's happened that his role has changed here this year? I mean, and what do you expect from him tonight?
We played the vast majority of the games for us. We added 2 players at the trade deadline. So Tarasenko and Okposo came in. We moved Vladdy all around until he found his home. Kyle, he really built. We had dropped 2 overtime games in the New York series consecutively. So we were rotating in. They're almost a pair, and I had moved them as pairs in and out of the lineup, and then we won 6 straight. So if there had been a change in the order of wins, he'd have come back in earlier. I left Kyle in for Game 5 just because he had played so darn well, and I really liked what he was doing, and not that changed a whole lot, but there's a chemistry of Lombard, Stenlund, and Cousins because they played together so much this year, and we found that the players that come out and then come in, they never come in afraid to make a mistake. They come in wired, right? They sat out. They don't like it. It's not a negative emotion. They want to be a part of it so bad that they find. I found, like, I really liked Ryan's game. I thought he was on the puck and physical and smart and impactful in that game, and we'll expect that from Nick.
Left side, fourth row.
For you personally, Paul, how much do you allow yourself to think what the outcome of the next 1 or 2 games could do for your legacy as a head coach? Or do you fight off thoughts like that?
I don't fight them. I think if I did, it would have been after Game 3, right? And I wouldn't be thinking of those words. You can just feel it. It's right there. But dropping the next 2 games puts you right back into the series, and it gets right back to hockey forefront. So now I don't have to fight any of those thoughts. There's no daydreaming. This is all get the right video right, prep your team right. It's about the game tonight. So if I had to fight for it, it would have been 4 or 5 days ago, not now.
Front row, right side.
Paul, you've coached a lot of captains in the NHL. What does Alexander Barkov like to kind of work with and deal with? And what is his sort of style of leadership compared to some of the other players you've coached?
I think he would be, for comparisons, he would be closest to Matt Sundin in work ethic, practice habits, like all the things that some superstars don't have to do. He does it. He is easily, not that the other men weren't, the most coachable, because there's not 10 things you got to coach, right? There's just, it's more, can you apply what you're really good at to this style or this thought? So that's kind of would be the only coaching that happens. But what he's great at, I don't think that it's a big speech that creates this environment. It's how he moves around the players every single day, and he's been here for so long. When you ask the players at the start of the year, what's the thing about our culture that you like the most? A large number of responses is how easy it is to fit into the room, how easy it is for all the new guys. We have 9 new players from last year come in. How easy it was for them be there 2 weeks and feel like you've always played there. And I think that's him, because he moves around the room with no ego. It's not that he doesn't have one. It's that he never makes you feel that you're less important than he is. He is as humble a leader as I've ever had, but also very competitive and very intense. So he's got that wonderful mix. I haven't done it justice because I can't. You need to move around that man and just kind of, we talk a lot about it in the coach's office, what it's like to have a guy like that that's, let's do it, let's try it, let's go.
We'll take 3 more questions, front right.
First, real quick, the 2 guys that didn't skate this morning, they were good to go. Good to, just Oliver Ekman-Larsson, a year ago he's getting bought out, and now he's in the situation for you. What did you guess learn about him right early in the season that you
Yeah, he got a lot of very positive reports out of Vancouver because he had been in a very difficult situation, and that just kind of had to end. And then we got him timed perfectly, right? He doesn't place in February. Once he gets to the summer, he's actually training, not rehabbing, for the first time in years. And then he would have had the exact same experience that those other 8 players had, brand new team coming in. So it's not just Sasha Barkov. You've also got, Gustav Forsling, a countryman. So he's got these guys, and he's not 38, but he's not 22 either. He's a veteran guy, and there's a bunch of guys like that in the room. So I think, well, I know this just from watching, he got very comfortable with us very, very quickly. And probably the best thing that happened is that we were injured. So he didn't come in the 5-6 hole. He came in and he played with Gustav. And he came out after that 13 to 15 game block, viewed in our room as the NHL defenseman that he is. And he got to carry that confidence and that respect throughout the year. Now, again, he's not 22. This is a joy for him, right? This is the thing that he could have only dreamed about happening in his career from a year ago to be where he is now. And because he's got that confidence and that experience in him, I mean, he's playing to make the most of it.
Take 2 more questions, right side, third row.
Obviously, you guys are still up in the series, but coming into Edmonton, do you guys feel pressure mounting? And if so, how do you embrace that?
We've won series in Game6s before or on the road before, so that would be in our memory bank. We would feel good about, we've been a good road team. So there's some confidence in how we do that. I think the pressure has leveled, in my opinion. It's leveling based on what one team has to lose and what the other team has to gain. It becomes a bit of an even. There's different kinds of emotions for both teams, but they're both now equally strong. Other than that, it'll be an exceptionally loud building tonight, probably louder than the first 2 games. There'll be lots of emotion with that, but we've been in some pretty loud buildings.
Left side, second row.
Paul, you had a 3-0 lead. You learned a lot from the previous 2 games.
Yeah.
You want your players to be relaxed. And do you feel, from a coaching perspective, that you need to treat this game like a Game 7?
Well, at first I would need to know how I would treat the Game 7 differently than this or Game 5. Not sure I would have a handle on that. I don't feel that. I don't feel that I will bring the idea into the room that we need to play 2 games tonight. That kind of weight to the game. This will be all hockey for us. The emotions are going to be there. The energy is going to be there. The conversation prior to the puck drop is strictly hockey.
Thank you for your time,
Okay.
Paul.